Hello there, I'm AYB, founder of Spark AI, where we help businesses automate their process and implement AI in their workflows. Today we'll be looking at looping by Zapier. What exactly is looping by Zapier? Looping by Zapier is a built-in tool in Zapier that allows you to carry out multiple actions using one trigger. That's either separated by delimiters or mostly delimiters. So let's go straight into it. So in this workflow we have here, I'm going to explain exactly what I mean by that. Now let's say we have a file like this, a spreadsheet, and we actually want to trigger this spreadsheet, this particular workflow. It says that we want to send emails to the guys that have paid for our products, and we're using this column, right, as the decider, right, as the trigger. So and now, as you can see, all these particular things that you are seeing, so this is in a role, this is a line item. So we have, these are line items. In this column, these are the line item. So we can actually trigger multiple action using like line items. So let's look at the first example. Now let's say we are setting up the trigger using schedule. We are saying at specific times we actually want to check our spreadsheet and then look for the guys that have paid for our service or our products, and then send them emails that, okay, yes, you can download your receipts here, you have paid for our product. So so after that we have a step here that says lookup spreadsheet row advanced. This is, make sure it is advanced you are using. So lookup spreadsheet rows advanced, right? And what are we actually looking up? We are looking up the column payment status. We are looking up the column payment status. And then what is the lookup value? We're actually looking up the value paid. So we are looking for all the data that, or all the record that have the status, payment status paid. We want to pull them into this particular thing and send emails to them at once, right? Normally we can actually pull them and send it one after the other, but we don't want to do it like that. We actually want to send it at once. So that's why we use looping by Zapier. So there are actually two types of, there are more than, I think there are three events that we can do on looping. We have create loop from line items, create loop from numbers, and create loop from text. So the first and the last one are the most common. We almost don't use create loop from numbers, so I'm not going to bother you with that. So we are going to look at create loop from line items, right? So the next thing you want to do is to choose the value and the key, right? So now we are going to choose, this is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to determine a key. So you can just look at this particular stuff and check the title, right? And then use the title as the key. You can see I use name, and then the value is the result from the spreadsheet you're actually looking up, and it's the row, the column that we want to pick. So we just pick the email. So you put emails there. For the name, you put the name, right? And for the product, you put the product. So those are like the stuffs that we want to do. So after that, the next step is, now if you check this particular name column, you see that the name is actually not properly formatted. It says that actually you want to send an email to them and I need just their first name. That means I'm going to have to use formatter to be able to split. So if you don't know how to use formatter, I'm going to put the link to formatter video somewhere around the video. You can just go and watch formatter by Zapier. Is also an inbuilt tool that is very, very important. So if you go onto formatter and you go to the event text, right, and if you had the value that you want to split, remember it is the loop value of the name I want to split, right? So I'll just put the value here, and the delimiter here is a non-character, which is more of like a space. So just put this particular documentation space. If you watch the video on formatter by Zapier, you're going to understand what I mean by documentation. So I'm separating it as the segment index is all as separate fields, right? So after that, then I'll get the split version. Then I can now send an email to them. Now, if I want to put the value of the name of the email, I have to make sure that if you want to put the value, make sure you're not using this preview value email. Make sure you're not doing that because it contains the line item of everything, right? Make sure you're using the one that has just the email, which is this, right? Just a lone email, right? That's the one you should use, right? The one that does not have preview item. Now, I'm going to add the from name as AYB and the subject is going to be Hero Hive, right? And I'm going to, I want to use the body as HTML because I want to add some HTML tags, and I'm embedding a link in this particular because we are telling them that they have to click a link so that they can download the receipt, right? So I'm going to embed a link there using some HTML tags, the RF HTML tags. So, and then next thing, that's all, right? So this is the first type. I'm going to show you before we run this scenario, the particular workflow. I'm going to show you the second type, and then we'll just run it together so you can see this. So I want you to take note of something here. Now the subject title for this particular workflow, the looping by Zapier that involve the Google Sheets, we're actually using Hero Hive. So I want you to take note of that. So now we also have another event that is when we can create a loop from text. So the trigger is still the same. We're using the schedule, right? And then we are saying we actually want to create a loop from text, but this time instead of imputing the value from any other thing, we can add code it and just add values. Yeah, you see that I've added some bunch of names and some bunch of emails, and then we have also added some bunch of products, right? So I might not need to split any text now because every of the names that are here are we have their first name, so there's no need to split. And you can see that the delimiter here is a comma. So the delimiter is just more of like a way you can separate this value. That's why they are called comma separated values, because you can separate them using comma. And imagine if without an organized form, you just see them in a comma separated value form, right? They are just separated by comma. That's why we can separate them using comma delimiter, right? So after we have done that, then we can now repeat the same process we did for the normal looping by Zapier that involved the Google Sheets, right? Had all of the things that I want to do, and then we can send it. Now, I want to do something now. I want to change the time. Right now, I'm going to use 9:15, right? So if it's possible for me to use 9:15 is the next time I can use, right? So I have to wait right now. So I can come over to 9:15. So I have to pause the video and come back in 15 minutes time so they can see the record that we have there. So I'm going to test this particular trigger, and then I will publish it as my V3 version of the workflow, right? And I'm also going to do that for the first one. So I'm going to use the schedule is going to be 9:15 every day by 9:15. Come over here. Yes. And yeah, I want to also mention something, that make sure you go over to your setting and the time zone, choose the time zone for your particular area, because that might actually give you issue. Because if you don't choose a time zone, you might actually have issues getting the schedule schedule by Zapier to work in the appropriate way. So now I'm just going to publish this particular stuff as my V3. And then yeah, so I've published the entire workflow. I'll have to just pause and then come back in most likely 13 minutes time to see the workflow. Okay, I'm back. If you check, so let's check all the emails. So you see that it's arrived exactly 9:15 a.m. So yeah, remember I said Euro Hive, and for the second one we used that was for the text. Which subject title do we use? I use Sunrise Hub, as you can see, Sunrise Hub, and then we got the two emails exactly 9:15. So this is exactly, now we can send emails to all of these persons at the same time, the guys that paid. So that's exactly the use of looping by Zapier. If you learn something from this video, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, so that you can get, and also turn on the bell notification so that you can also get videos like this that I'm doing for free, right? See you guys in the next video. Bye.